Hi there, lovely runners. Coach Alexa here, coach for Reading, South Oxfordshire and online. I thought I'd do a little bit of a mini series in the run up to Christmas, covering various aspects of the impacts that Christmas can have on our running. And I'm going to start off, top of the list, with alcohol. Definitely a time of year where we're drinking more. I'm good friends with a lady that works at my local pub. Definitely the most profitable time of the year for local pubs and bars. So I thought I'd kind of touch on alcohol. And I'm not here to say don't drink or drink less, but I think, like with everything in life, it's good to have all the information to make an informed choice. So first of all, let me start by saying that alcohol, as you may have already realised, is not a performance enhancing drug. It has a few different impacts on the body, and some of the most obvious are not particularly conducive to our running. So obviously if you drink noticeably too much, you do feel pretty rough the next day, and you'll really notice the impact on your brain in terms of headaches, your digestion, in terms of how you feel, your energy levels, all that sort of stuff. But you don't actually have to be drunk and experience a hangover to have the negative lingering effects of that alcohol intake, particularly on our training. So the way alcohol is broken down in the body is broken down straight into sugars, which is one of the reasons why people can tend to get beer bellies, because when we get like any sort of sudden sugar influx into our bodies, when we're not burning through that sugar doing some sort of sport or activity, the body wants to dump it as quickly as possible, and the quickest place as possible is in that abdominal fat. So, and there is a link with that, abdominal fat and sort of the alcohol consumption with type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, etc. But what maybe in the short term, what we might be more concerned about is the fact that in order to break down the alcohol, our body uses some of the chemicals that are already within our body. Electrolytes are part of that, for example. And it can also, as you probably realised, be quite dehydrating. So that will leave us for the following day, and maybe even into 2 days if you've been really going some, leave us in a state where we're not going to perform as well during the sessions, we're not going to get the most out of them, and we're definitely not going to recover from them as quickly either. Alcohol is also basically an inflammatory. So it causes a little bit of an inflammatory response in some of the body's tissues. So that is going to interrupt our recovery, even from sessions that we did, maybe earlier in the day before we went down the pub, or the day before. We're not going to adapt to them as well as we would have done otherwise. And also, for the training sessions over the next sort of 24, 48 hours, we're not going to get that adaptation either. And also, you probably realised that alcohol has quite an impact on our sleep. So our sleep quality drops off massively. And some studies have shown that you feel like you suddenly go into a deep sleep if you've had a few. But actually it's not really a deep sleep, it's quite a light sleep. You're just effectively sort of on the verge of kind of passing out, even if you haven't passed out. So it's a different kind of sleep. Then we often wake up, and we often have difficulties regulating our temperature, which leads us to wake up and have a more fitful night's sleep, or a much lighter sleep. So the sleep that we do have in terms of hours, which might look good, is not good generally in terms of the quality of that sleep. So a few things to bear in mind. So what can you do? As I'm saying, I'm not going to say don't drink anything over the Christmas period, because that's often the way many of us enjoy ourselves and socialise with other people. Alternating alcoholic with non-alcoholic drinks. I am a massive fan of alcohol-free Guinness in my local pub. I love a Guinness. For me, it tastes possibly even a bit better, sacrilegious I know, than ordinary Guinness, and nobody knows that you're drinking something alcohol-free. Lots of good alcohol-free alternatives out there at the moment, gin replacements for a nice G&T, etc. So balancing the alcoholic drinks with the non-alcoholic, and maybe just stopping earlier in the evening. That will have a little bit of a more positive effect on your sleep quality. So don't keep drinking up until sort of 10, 11 o'clock at night. Maybe if you're having a couple with dinner, then call it a day after that. Anyway, entirely up to you. Or ignore all of that. Just don't Don't tell me I didn't give you the warning up front about the impact that it's going to have on your training and your recovery. Happy running.